Morning. How's everybody doing? We're at the garden today. We're going to be doing a bunch of stuff. First thing we're going to be working on today is putting amendments into my soil. So as you guys can see, we got the certified organic mushroom compost on the top of the beds. We've raked them out flat. I haven't mixed it in with the top of the soil yet because I didn't want to waste my time, because we got to lay amendments down on the top of the soil. So I'm going to show you guys what we're putting down today and the reasons why we're doing so. So the first thing we're going to put down is ashes. So in here, oh, you probably can't see, it's going to blow away. All right, so in here is about 5 pounds of ashes from the wood stove at my cottage. So it's just wood. There's no pallets in there, nails, screws, pressure treated wood, nothing. It's literally just wood, trees cut down into bits, put in the wood stove. So one of the benefits to ashes is it's loaded with potassium, right? Because it's potash, so it's loaded with potassium. It's also about 20% calcium, and it contains all kinds of elements, like natural elements that your plants need, like micronutrient type stuff, right? So we're going to put that down. The next product we're putting down, let's get this open here so you can see. This is azomite rock dust, and it looks like this. Okay, it's a tan colored powder, and this comes from a mine in Utah, right? They dig it out of the mine, they process it. You can get it in different consistencies. I like the really fine because it's easy to apply. Azomite rock dust is essentially like giving multivitamins to your plants. You don't need tons of it. You just kind of spread it across the top of your soil, till it in, and it's plant available nutrients. So literally it's like, giving multivitamins to your plants. Your plants need that. The next thing we're going with is pelletized hen manure, right? And this is a 532, right? And I like this stuff because it's easy to apply, right? It's in little pellets. You just have, I'll be applying it with containers like this. Just come along, spread it all up in your soil, right? And it'll just break down over time, and your plants can use the nutrients out of this as it needs to. And the last one, hang on, I'm going to get a knife and open the bag so you can see. Last but not least is this. This is a 50-pound bag of alfalfa meal, okay? Sorry, no, alfalfa pellets. It's sold as horse feed, okay? So it's just pelletized, right? If I was only allowed to choose one amendment for my soil, it would be alfalfa. And there's reasons for that. One, it's super high in nitrogen, right? Two, it adds all kinds of organic matter to your soil, because you'll put these pellets in, and as soon as they get wet, they swell up and they just fall apart and break down into your soil. But the other benefit to alfalfa meal, or alfalfa pellets, well, alfalfa meal is just alfalfa grass that they've just dried out and just turned into a powder. It's not cost efficient. This 50-pound bag was 17 bucks. If you buy alfalfa meal, like something, let's say like Gaia Green sells in one of those little tubs like that, it's $25 for 2 kilograms. And I have 50 pounds of this for 17 bucks. The other benefit of alfalfa is that it contains about 20 different chemicals in it that are especially beneficial to plants. And essentially the compounds in alfalfa act as a natural plant growth hormone. So you guys saw my garden last year, right? For those of you who have been following my channel for a while. For those of you who haven't, you might want to check out my garden from last year. So we laced this alfalfa meal down, or this I keep calling it alfalfa meal for some reason. I don't know why. Apparently I need some more coffee. It's early. So we laced the garden with this alfalfa pellets last year. And I mean, I was pulling out peppers that were this big. I have never, in all my gardening years, pulled out massive peppers like that. And alfalfa is one of the main reasons why that happened. Even though we had a drought last year, you know, a lot of the things in my garden were just banging. So what we're gonna do is we are going to spread all of these amendments out on the beds. Then we're gonna take a hard rake. We're gonna rake it all in. And then when we're done that, we're gonna start laying down some geotextile cloth. So I'll just break this up into 2 videos and we'll go from there, all right? So like I said, we're gonna just apply the amendments out to the beds. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're gonna rake it all in anyways. So we are going to start with the ashes. When you're applying powders to your garden, 1, figure out which way the wind is blowing, and then stand upwind from that so you're not getting all this in your face. Okay, and 2, when you're applying it, apply it low to the ground so it doesn't blow away. So see what we're doing? So I'm just going to do the rest of the beds with this ash, and we'll keep going. So you can see we've got all the ashes down. That whole bag is gone, and that 5 pounds gave me just barely enough to do coverage. I wish I would have had about double, but you have to be careful because if you put too much ashes down, it can alter the pH in your soil. And some of the things like tomatoes and stuff need more of an acidic soil, and the ashes will change that. So we don't want that to happen. So next we are going to do azomite rock. So we're going to do the same thing with the azomite rock dust. See, we've got it in a container, and we're just going to spread it out too. And you want to do it low to the ground because it'll blow away. So you see, we don't need a ton of it. And so I'm just gonna finish up the rest of the beds, and then we'll see what else we're doing. Moving right along. We got all of the azomite rock dust down, except for I was running out, so it's pretty thin on these 2 beds, and this final bed didn't get any. So I'll have to buy another bag for either this season or next, probably next. We're going to apply the pelletized hen manure now. Okay, and this is what it looks like. All right, so they're nice and easy to apply, and we're just gonna take our yogurt cup and sprinkle these all through the beds. And that's a 10-kilo bag, and we're gonna use the whole thing. So we're just gonna sprinkle it like that and do all the beds. We've got the pelletized hen manure down. You guys can see it in the beds. Okay, you see it all in the beds here. 10 kilograms, just barely did 9 beds. Okay, so if you're gonna get hen manure like that, that's a good reference point. So we have 9 beds at roughly 40 feet long, and so 10 kilograms did all that. Next, we're going to put down the alfalfa. So here is the alfalfa pellets, and we're just going to lay these down sort of the same. We're just going to, you know, maybe an inch or two between each one, and we're just going to spread them all through the garden. And we're probably going to go through 3/4 of this bag because I want to take some home with me. So just gonna take our old scoop, and lay them down like that. All right. So next up, what we're going to do, I'm taking my hard rake and we're going to blend all of this in. And we're going to get the compost blended into the topsoil.
Hi, sir.
Hi.
So the log
I'm filming. Just a minute.
Oh, okay.
So we're just going to do all the rest of the beds like that, and we're just going to blend all of the amendments into the compost and into the topsoil. So last thing we have to do now is I blended all the amendments into the compost and into the top layer of soil. Now I just need to give everything a quick rake. So you guys don't need to see me rake, but I'm just kind of filling in on the process here. I'm going to rake everything flat, and then we're going to start laying down geotextile. We've got all the beds raked. Next thing we're doing is we're installing, whoops, sorry, hit the tripod. We're going to install geotextile woven fabric, okay? So this stuff is UV treated. I have a 3-foot wide roll. Sorry, the wind is blowing it. I have a 3-foot wide roll. It's 300 feet long. We're going to lay this down on certain beds, and then I will just cut holes in it with a torch or a knife, and we will plant right through it. So it comes with that, and you install it with these pins. Okay, so you just lay it out, push these pins through it, and I can reuse this next season and the season after and the season after. And because it's woven, the water will go through it easily, right? It just goes right through the weave, but weeds cannot grow through this stuff. So if you are looking for a way to do weed remediation, this is the stuff. You can get it in 3-foot length or 3-foot width, 4-foot width, 6, 8, 10, 15, whatever you need. Find a place that sells this. And if you're looking for a way to reduce your weeds, this is it. What we do is just roll it out like a big piece of carpet, pull it super tight. My son's helping me hold it down. So once you get it real tight, get it up to the edge. I've pinned this end. Sorry guys, I keep bumping the tripod here. And then you take your pins, and the box only has 300 or 100. So I'm gonna put pins every 10 feet or so, and all you do is just push it through, pin it down to the ground, and then just work your way along your edges. All right, so I'm just gonna carry on, and we'll see it when it's done. So what do you think? Looks pretty good, eh? So we're gonna have kale here, and then leeks and herbs, and maybe some onions at the end. And then we're gonna have onions and carrots in here, so that way, that's the reason there's no geotextile on top of those, because I don't want to cut 50 million holes. This is going to be peppers down there, and then onions here. So I just ran one sheet because I don't know how far I'm going to take the peppers down here, and when I get to the spot with the onions, I'm not sure. I might just cut slices right through here, 4 slices, and then just stick the onions in, and then it'll just grow around the geotextile. I've seen lots of people do that. This is going to be tomatoes all the way down here on T-posts, and then I think cabbage or zucchini here, and then this is going to be tomatoes about halfway down, and then we're going to plant other larger vegetables in here. This one here, we're going to do bush beans here. Then we're going to set up a trellis netting from there down to here, and we're going to grow yellow pole beans, green pole beans, and then cucamelons. This is going to be the cucumber bed, and so the trellis netting is about 30 some odd feet, so when we stretch it out, it doesn't come all the way to the end. So we're going to grow 4 different types of cucumbers down there, and then if I have spare, if I need to cut this off here, I will, or if I can just cut holes and plant stuff there, I will. This is going to be all potatoes. We're going to do 2 rows of potatoes right down the center, and then we're going to do more potatoes up there, and then this is a blank spot here. So we'll figure out, this is probably going to be like the overflow section or something, so it depends. So that's where we are today, guys, and I'm going to pull the plug because I've got one of my boys isn't feeling well, and he's over there sleeping in the shade on a blanket underneath a couple of hay bales, and my youngest just had a huge bug fly into his ear canal and bite or sting him inside his ear canal. It was either a big huge ant or some sort of bee, so his ear really hurts. Luckily, he's freaking out, and I couldn't get it out because it was like way deep in his ear canal. Just as we were getting out of here, I was going to have to take him to the hospital to have it pulled out. The bug flew out, thank God, because if not, we'd be spending 10 hours at the emergency room because it wouldn't be a priority. So that's where we stand today, and I'm going to leave this geotextile in the trunk of my car along with the pins, and if I get off of work early, we're going to install it inside these pathways. So that's kind of the working plan right now anyways. So have a great day, guys. Make sure you get your gardens in the ground. We're going to need it this year. It's going to be a bad one. So, and grow good food, like I always say to you guys, because that's super important. If you're not subscribed, you guys should really consider about hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell. Leave me a thumbs up, shoot me a comment, do all the good things, and have a wonderful day. See ya.